Vote on the company's board is coming up on Wednesday, and the proxy battle between the company and activist investor Nelson Peltz is entering its final stretch here. Peltz now garnering support from CalPERS and Neuberger Berman ahead of that meeting. For more, we're now bringing in Bill George, former chairman and CEO of Medtronic. Bill, it is always good to have you on the show. And maybe we'll start there, Bill. I want your take on just some of the big names who are coming out, Bill, in favor of Mr. Nelson Peltz. So we can talk about CalPERS or ISS. What do you make of that, Bill? Are you surprised by that?
I'm disappointed by it. I think they're looking for short-term gains, and they think somehow Peltz is going to come in and cut a lot of costs, but it'll leave Disney in the lurch. This has been a very costly, distracting battle. And by the way, Iger and Disney board have lined up a lot of strong supporters, people like George Lucas and Glass Lewis and others who have supported them, Jamie Dimon, of course, JP Morgan. So I think in the end it's going to be a very close battle. But the point is, Iger's got a big job to do at Disney, and it's taking him away from getting the job done because Chapek left the company in a mess.
But was Iger, hey Bill, it's Julie here, but was Iger also getting a little complacent, a little arrogant, dare I say? I mean, was there any utility, even if Peltz doesn't succeed, was there any utility in this, in getting, yes, I see the argument that it's a distraction, but is it also cause him to focus?
Well, it's caused him to accelerate, I think, that's for sure. And it's a big job, you know, and he's still got a lot of big issues he's facing. He had to get the thick situation right with Governor DeSantis and stop that war. He's still got the Disney Plus streaming. How fast can they convert from cable to streaming? There's no resolution yet of ESPN and ABC. I anticipate eventually they'll want to spin those off. And but the key is that no one ever talks about is Chapek centralized all the creativity, and now Bob is decentralized and getting it back to the people, and that's the only way to run a complex enterprise like this. So there's a lot of work left to be done. And then not to mention the fact by 2026, he's got to have a successor. So he's got a couple of years of breathing room there, but that's not been a good course for a long time for Iger and the board.
And Bill, you're touching right there on a central point here, which is this issue of succession. And I mean, you've seen, Bill, how, you know, the fans of Nelson Peltz, in part, that's what they're saying. Like, they're fans of Nelson Peltz because they think he's going to join the board, Bill, and he's going to force the board to this time actually get it right.
Well, I don't know. I would think he, like a Unilever, he got in the wrong successor. He got in a very short-term person, and yeah, he'll get somebody that'll cut a lot of heads and do things like that. But Disney is, you know, this is an iconic company. It's a classic global company. They've gone for American. And by the way, it's a very strong board. And Iger's taken steps to beef up the board with the former head of Sky, Sir Jeremy Dowick, and Lululemon, and brought in they have a very strong board. Mary Barra, Safra Katz. You aren't going to find many stronger boards. They don't need Nelson Peltz telling them what to do. They know what to do. Mark Parker's done an excellent job as chair. So they don't need Peltz to get things going. They know the pressure's on them. They know they failed with succession the last time around, and they know they'll have to get it right. But it's the board's the one to get that right. That's not Peltz to do that.
Bill, out of curiosity, do you hold Disney shares yourself?
No, I don't hold any shares like that, so I can talk objectively to people like you. And when I teach at Harvard, I don't have a bias. So, no, I don't hold any shares.
Well, that's helpful for us.
I would, you know, but, you know, for the long term, it's a great company. And I'm glad Iger's back. Bob did a fantastic job. He's one of the great CEOs of the last, 16, 18 years now. But the succession thing, he's a hard guy to replace, too.
Bill, I'll get you out of here on this. Bottom line, what do you think's going to happen at this shareholder meeting?
I think that Disney will eke out a narrow victory over Peltz. And Peltz can go away like he did on PepsiCo and a few others, that he can go back and find someone else to go after. At least that's I hope it'll come out, because I think it's the best thing for the long term for Disney. And this is a company that deserves a very great long-term future.
Bill, always love having you on the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Amelia, turn off alarm. Amelia, weather?
70 degrees and sunny today.
Amelia, unlock the door.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Jen.
Why not?
Did you forget something?
My protein shake.
The future isn't scary. Not investing in it is.
You're so dramatic, Amelia.
Bye, Jen.
100 innovative companies, one ETF. Before investing, carefully read and consider fund investment objectives, risks, charges, expenses, and more in prospectus at Invesco.com.
Disney's proxy battle is heating up. The fate of Disney's board will be determined this week following activist investor Nelson Peltz's month-long battle for a boardroom shakeup. The results of the shareholder vote, they're expected to be announced at Disney's annual stockholders meeting Wednesday. For more on what we can expect, we've got Yahoo Finance's senior reporter, Alexandra Knaut. Hey, Allie.
Hey, Brad, that's right. We're entering the final days of this fight. Shareholders can continue to vote or change their vote until Wednesday. That's the day the polls close. And like you said, the day of that annual shareholder meeting. It's also possible that we could receive a last minute deal between Peltz and Disney, but I do think he's going to want to take this to the finish line, especially since he's received some life into these final days of the campaign. According to a press release this morning, 2 institutional investors, the California Public Employees Retirement System, along with global asset manager Neuberger Berman, both expressed their support for Trian's nominees. That includes Peltz, along with former Disney CFO Jay Rasulo. And notably, this does follow the pro-Peltz recommendation we heard from proxy advisory firms ISS and Egan-Jones. The ISS recommendation in particular really served as a turning point for Peltz, but we do have to remember that up to 40% of Disney shares are held by individual retail investors. And if you take a look at Disney's stock price since the start of the year, it's been a truly impressive run. And in fact, for the first quarter alone, Disney was the best year-to-date Dow performer, with the stock up 35%, hovering at record highs. For its part, Disney has won the support from proxy advisory firm Glass Lewis and has also received the backing from other high-profile names like JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, Star Wars creator George Lucas, among others. So both sides seemingly coming into this from a position of strength in different ways. Disney has faced a lot of challenges, including slowing demand in its park business, a lack of profitability within streaming. We've also seen some underperformers at the box office, but the company has taken steps to address some of these issues. There's been mass layoffs, there's been restructuring efforts. Disney has announced various partnerships, like its deal with Epic Games, along with password sharing crackdowns, price hikes. So all of that seems to be boosting the bullish sentiment on Wall Street and Main Street, but succession still serving as a big overhang, a big question mark moving forward. That's what Peltz has really hung his hat on when we think about this proxy campaign at large. So at this point, anything can really happen. It all goes down on Wednesday. That's the shareholder meeting, and it's going to be a big day for me, and I know a big day for Yahoo Finance to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, this proxy fight's even playing out in my LinkedIn feed now, Allie. So
Yes.
We'll see which side really gets the best of the shareholders' attention here. Allie, thanks so much for breaking this down. We're going to be watching this going into Wednesday.
There are so many reasons to celebrate. Evite offers thousands of online invitation and greeting card designs for every occasion. And we offer text delivery and free RSVP tracking. Plan your next party now with Evite, because life's better together.
Taking a look now at a trending ticker of the day, Disney's proxy fight with activist Nelson Peltz heating up. Peltz winning a key backing from proxy advisory firm Institutional Shareholders.